Oh, welcome into the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame, intermission, postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Latvia, the home country of the backup turned starting netminder for the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. But that's not what matters tonight. But that's why we're doing Latvia tonight.
Arturs Shilovs.
Yes. Welcome in. It is Game 4, and inexplicably, the Flyers have an opportunity tonight to potentially wrap up a truly shocking sweep of their cross-state rivals, the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Flyers have maybe one of the best giveaway shirts
Of all time.
ever.
Yeah.
And we don't have one to show you. Anthony, do you want to tell the people what it says?
Well, I can't say what it says.
Well, you make the Flyers thing into a P. I think it's supposed to be a P.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, let's just imagine that it is. What would that say, Anthony?
It says, if it were a P,
Yes.
puck everybody.
Puck everybody.
Puck everybody is what it would say.
You know who else says puck everybody? Our guest on pregame, Mike Zielski. How are you doing?
Mike from the Philadelphia Inquirer. How you doing, bud?
Doing great, guys. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, this is a first.
It is. It's the first time I've been on.
It's the first time you've been on. I've been on your show a number of times.
Yes,
So I
that's
feel
correct.
like it's only,
I appreciate the reciprocation.
got to reciprocate a little bit.
I am a faithful listener of Snow the Goalie.
I love it.
And I'm honored that you would ask me on.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to have you down here, and that's part of why I wanted to have you come on, because you go over there into the press box. There's not an open seat.
Yep.
Everybody and their mother is covering this team. The excitement around the Flyers is through the roof in this city right now. And of course, they're getting a little bit of help with the Phillies being so bad.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. There's a lot of reasons why nobody believed in the Sixers, et cetera, et cetera. But I just wanted to kind of get your perspective. As someone who writes about the team, but you're not around them every day, to kind of like what this whole environment has been like and where they are right now, one game away from their first sweep in 31 years.
Well, I was really curious about how much runoff of fans the last several years would cause.
Right.
With all the losing and the indifference and people kind of not caring, and how much that fan base was just dormant, that they were just people waiting for the team to be good again, to be given a reason to hope. And I think we're finding out that there were a lot of people who just were waiting for a reason to get excited.
Yeah.
The fan base, I think Flyers fans sometimes are misunderstood a little bit. They are realistic, a lot of them, about where the team is headed. I know this is a topic you guys have talked about a lot on this show, the question of how do they rebuild? Do they break it down? Do they try to kind of tread water and all of that? And people who love the team were plugged into that, but they needed a reason to care. And within the last 3 or 4 weeks, really kind of coinciding with the arrival of Porter Martone, now you've got people interested again, and you've got people remembering what this was like around here when the Flyers were really relevant and really mattered.
Yeah, and you remember what it was like, and so like to have it back again. Like, it's really exciting because it's really, in a lot of ways, Mike, this is for a new generation as well. I mean, you go back. I mean, the last time it was exciting, there have been a few playoff series, but the last time it was exciting like this, you're going back 14, 15 years. So a lot of the kids that are, teenagers now either were barely alive and don't remember it or weren't alive at all.
Yeah, it's one or the other, right? It's either you remember exactly where you were when Dave Poulin scored 2 men short against the Quebec Nordiques in 1985,
right?
Or you have no idea what this is like. And the only way, you as a teenager or a 10-year-old might know about the Flyers' success is from a dad or an uncle or an older cousin telling you about it.
Right.
So the fact that the town is as jazzed about this as they are is pretty remarkable. I think it speaks to the hold that the franchise had on the town for a long, long time, and as of now anyway, seems to be getting back.
Yeah. And it's not just the city. There's somebody in the comments here who said they flew in from Arizona for this game. About 10 minutes ago, we had a group of 3 people who flew in from Indy. We have our normal people from Florida who make a couple of trips up a night. But that's just a small microcosm of the kind of fans that you would expect are here tonight. And the ticket prices here, absolutely bananagrams on the secondary market. The get-in price, as of yesterday, was more expensive than the Stanley Cup final last year.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And I think
it's a testament to the fans, I think, more than anything.
it is. And not to go too deep back into the past, but, there was a time in this town where the Flyers were, if you were ranking the franchises, yeah, you would have put the Eagles first and you would have put the Phillies second. But you would have put the Flyers third
100%.
ahead of the Sixers.
Yes.
Think back to the mid-'90s when the NHL was on ESPN and the Flyers had Eric Lindros and John LeClair, and they were a contender, and the Sixers were drafting terrible players before they got Allen Iverson. They were a bigger factor in this town than the Sixers were. They inspired more passion than the Sixers
And if the
did.
Phillies were bad, they were number 2.
Yeah, they really were. And I know it's not hard now tonight to think of that and envision that, but it has been difficult for the last several years to remember that.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, Mike, is that, one of the people that I think has made the biggest turn in the fans' minds in the past few weeks has been the coach. I mean, you go back 5-6 weeks ago, they wanted him fired in his first year. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, you're looking at it going, man, does this guy actually know how to coach? Is he a great coach? Like, this might be a great coach. This might have been a great hire. Look what he's doing with this team. It's obviously not one extreme or the other. It's somewhere in the middle. But which side do you lean a little bit more toward at this point?
I absolutely lean toward he's doing a very good job. And
Yeah.
I've actually thought that about some of his predecessors in years when the Flyers either missed the playoffs or got bounced in the first round. It's kind of similar to what we're seeing with Rob Thompson and the Phillies right now among a ton of fans, and I understand this. They're frustrated when things aren't going well, and you want your team to do something. And so the easiest thing to do is fire the manager or fire the coach. But you look back at some of the teams that have been here when either John Tortorella was coaching or Dave Hackstall was coaching, or at the end, even for Peter Laviolette. It doesn't make any of those guys, Scotty Bowman or any of the other great coaches in the history of the NHL. But what it means is this team, in its makeup, this organization, in the way it did things, was not doing things in a way that was conducive to competing for playoff berths, let alone Stanley Cups. And I think some of that residue, some of that impatience and bitterness rubbed off on the fan base when it came to Rick Tocchet this season. People wanted to see a superstar. They didn't want to hear that Matvei Mishkov needs to learn how to play in the NHL at both ends of the ice. And therefore, I'm going to try to protect him and I'm going to play him here and not there. It doesn't mean that Rick Tocchet is perfect. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that there were certain conditions around the team that caused people to kind of lose their minds when things weren't going the way they wanted them to go. And now that things have turned around, hey, Rick Tocchet must be a genius.
Yeah. Well, it was one of the interesting columns that you wrote. I forget which day you wrote it this week, but it was kind of talking about how they reverted back to what they used to do well, but in a way that they kind of did it in today's modernization of the sport. Can you kind of go through what you were trying to say there?
That's what we saw in Game 3, right? From an entertainment standpoint, you couldn't find a game that tickled the erogenous zones of Flyers fans more than Game 3, right? It's a big game. It's against the Penguins. You're up 2-0 in the series. There's a, for lack of a better word, brawl in the second period that turns the game in the Flyers' favor. And they've had the advantage in the physical play. They had it throughout the first 2 games, I thought. And then you have that happen, and it's like, this is what we all remember. This is why we got hooked on Flyers hockey in the first place. Is not only did they win games, but they pounded the other team in doing it. And now you have this added dimension with Martone, with Owen Tippett, with the level of skill and speed that's kind of come to the forefront in the last few weeks. And if you're a Flyers fan, you're looking at this and saying, it's almost worth the wait.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
almost worth it. It's been far too long. Has there been anybody that really, obviously we've all written about Martone. We've all written about the guys that have really kind of turned this season around. But is there anybody, since you've gotten back following this team on a much closer level that you've looked at and gone, man, that guy impressed me more than maybe I thought that he.
Yeah, I would like to know when Travis Sanheim became Ray Bourque. Like,
unbelievable, right?
I think he's been their best player in the first 3 games of this playoff series. Yeah. The goal in Game 1 notwithstanding, like he's rubbed Sidney Crosby out more than once in plays in the corner and plays in front of the net. he's been absolutely tremendous. And it's funny how this has all worked out. And to your point about the change in the way we've looked at things, think about the way the fan base reacted at the trade deadline when Rasmus Ristolainen was not moved.
Right.
Well, all of a sudden, he's half of your best defensive pairing, and it's the defensive pairing, I think, that is kind of symbolizes the separation between these two teams in this series, because those two have been able to push the Penguins forwards around in a way the Penguins defensemen have not been able to do with the Flyers, and that to me is a huge difference between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, and look, there's no question that for the two of them, they got put together just before the Olympics, so it's not like this was something that came out of the Olympics. But the two of them playing at the Olympics and playing a lot at the Olympics against the best players in the world at the game at its highest level it could possibly be played at, I think that was what made a difference for those two. Like, I'm really, because they came back from that, and it's like all of a sudden, now we're playing in every game is almost do or die, and we have to continue playing the way we played in Milan, and I think that it just kind of worked.
I think what you're talking about is something that's changing about pro sports in general, not just in the NHL, which is that more and more the regular seasons are becoming almost like training grounds for the playoffs, because the playoffs, every tournament, whether you're talking about the NHL, the NBA, even the NFL now with 7 teams in each conference getting into the playoffs, the playoffs tournaments are so long that it's not just about like, were you good in October or November or December? It is, what is the team you have late in the regular season, and can you ride that? Like, I'm not going to be surprised if Colorado loses out west. I'll be mildly surprised if they're really freaking good and the West stinks. But by the same token, it's not going to take a lot for a hot team to beat them, I don't think.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what you're talking about here. The Flyers right now are not the same team they were January 1st or before the Olympics. And you're seeing that play out.
What do we got here, Russ? Look at this.
You saw the other day, super fan, concerned fan Eric brought the penguin with the noose around its neck. And here you got Sidney Crosby.
Sidney Crosby, I think it is.
Yeah, that's just Crosby, though, but it's a baby. Crosby's a baby.
Yeah, Crosby.
Yeah, okay, but
that's what Scott Hartnell used to call him. Scott Hartnell used to call him Sidney Crosby.
That's fantastic. The fans are roaring and ready to go. Sorry, I interrupted something there, but this is the beauty of the press row. You see something. These people are carrying chairs around like they're about to go deliver a shot to the back of a random Penguins fan.
Like,
I mean,
like you got like this wrestling vibe going on.
You do. I mean, this place is a madhouse. Mike, I want to ask you about a guy. Now, you mentioned a little bit ago, Sanheim might be the best guy in the first 3 games. I think a lot of people would argue maybe, Vladar certainly in consideration. One of the most unheralded people, and it's somebody that you wrote a story about recently, you had an interaction with, Sean Couturier.
Yeah.
Going down to the 4th line, accepting the role, stylistically changing everything about how he plays, throwing his body around with reckless abandon, playing in those critical minutes. He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Might be the story of an unheralded story of the series.
It absolutely is. The 4th line has been terrific every time it's been out there. You're right, Russ, that he's been a tone setter in terms of how he used his body, how he's kind of thrown it around there. Tocchet has talked about it, that, in game 1, Couturier throws a big check and it kind of wakes the Flyers up. And I don't think you can overstate what it is for him to say, you know what? All right, if this is what it takes for us to be competitive and win, is me going to the 4th line and being even more of a defensive forward than I was when I won the Selke Trophy, then that's what I'll do. And look, he's gotten some good scoring chances in this series too. He just hasn't put them away. I have a lot of admiration for that guy. He's the guy on this roster who's been here the longest and been through the most. And people forget what a terrific player he was before the back injuries, and what a tremendous two-way forward he was. And he doesn't have to be that now. He can just be what he's been, and it's enough for the Flyers to make them a better team.
Yeah, we try to stay objective up here, but I think on a human level, I don't know if I've ever felt as good for a human being as I do for him because of the 2 back surgeries. People kind of given up on him this year. He was catching a lot of flack from fans this season.
He still does.
And
it's crazy. He still does.
Yeah. If at this point, if after watching the first 3 games, you're still anti-Sean Couturier, I think there's something wrong with you, whoever you are out there.
By the way, speaking of, in case people didn't read it.
Sure.
Your column with him, and I don't think that it was totally not your intention.
Right.
And I was standing right there when you were interviewing him, and I thought it was absolutely hysterical. So tell everyone what happens and how this plays out. This is great.
I'm sure 5 out of every 6 people listening and watching this podcast are familiar with the interaction I had with Jake Voracek back in 2021.
Yes.
After the column that I wrote about him almost 2 years earlier that he did not like. I still to this day get Flyers fans on Instagram and Twitter who will DM me GIFs of weasels popping out from behind mounds of dirt. So, as you said, Ann, I hadn't been around the team as much in recent years for obvious reasons.
Right.
The Eagles have been really good. I'm around them. You know, I'm doing more college basketball, doing some other things. So I was at practice before the playoffs begin. I walk up to Sean. He's sitting in his locker. I said, hey, Coots, I don't know if you remember me. I'm Mike Sealski from the Inquirer. Do you have a few minutes? And he looks up at me and totally deadpan says, well, I don't know if I'm going to talk to you. You're just going to write bleeping bleep, which is exactly what Jake had said during the press conference. And for a half second, I was like, oh, no, we're going to have a confrontation about this. And I can't believe how long his memory is. It's been 5 years. And then he broke into a gigantic grin like Bobby Clark, like he had no teeth,
Yep.
He didn't have his teeth in. And he just, extended his hand and shook my hand. And I was like, thank God that we're not going to have to go round and round in the locker room here.
Yeah.
And he was great. He talked to me for 10 minutes and couldn't have been better.
It was funny because I had a very similar experience with him at the beginning of the season. When I walked during training camp, I walked into the locker room, and he looked at me and he goes, I guess we're allowed to talk to you now.
Jeez. Oh, man.
Hey, we had a similar thing happen at the draft party, if you remember.
Yes.
When Talk came on, he was like, I'll answer your questions.
Yeah. So, you know what? It goes to show that no matter what any of these athletes and coaches say about not paying attention to what the media writes or the media says or what fans say, they read and hear
Everything.
Yes. Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely do.
And it was fun. I appreciated Sean doing what he did. It was like getting hazed a little bit.
That was good.
And that's all right. I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
It was
all
fun.
good.
It was totally fun. It was all good fun, too. All right, so before we let you go, your thoughts on tonight? Are we wrapping it up here, or are you and I getting back either on a plane, train, or in an automobile and going back out to Pittsburgh for Monday?
Well, I would be really surprised if any of us were heading back to Pittsburgh for a Game 5.
Okay.
I thought Game 2, the way that game played out, stripped the Penguins of whatever will they had left. If the Flyers stay out of the penalty box tonight, they're going to be fine.
Yep.
Because 5-on-5, they're better than the Penguins, and they have been better than the Penguins.
Yep.
So, I don't want to jinx any Flyers fans. I'm sure you're all out there saying, oh, no, don't say it. But I would be stunned if the Flyers didn't finish them off tonight.
Yeah, okay. And we'll save ours for our picks, but I'm kind of on board with you.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Just so you know. Mike Sealski for Philadelphia Inquirer. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Much
Appreciate
appreciated.
it.
Thank you very much. Read him at Inquirer.com. It's awesome. I love reading his columns all times.
And it's a live crowd tonight.
It is.
We had quite the lively bunch in Game 3, and it feels like it's ratcheted up. It's funny because at Game 3, it was almost like the waiting period was finally over, right? The fans were so excited. It had been 8 years. And I think there's probably a little bit of nerves, too, in the crowd.
Yeah.
Wow, our team went out, won the first 2 games on the road.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how, historically, at least in the last decade and a half, Flyers teams usually with those expectations, all the eyes of the city on them, they kind of puke all over themselves. But tonight is almost like people are here for a coronation.
This is Game 4 2022 against the Braves all over again when they eliminated Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because remember, they went out to St. Louis and won that. The Phillies, nobody expected them to make the playoffs. They sneak in at the end of the season, right? Next to last game, just like the Flyers did next to last game.
Yep.
Then they go out to St. Louis. Nobody expects them to win. They win that series 2-0. They go to Atlanta. Now, the only difference is they split in Atlanta versus the Flyers winning 2 in Pittsburgh. But then the Game 3 game, everybody was a little nervous in that ballpark. First playoff game in forever. Reese Hoskins hits the home run, the bat spike, whatever. Big moment, big exciting game. And then Game 4 was like everybody knew.
Yep.
It's like the Braves were not going to win that game. Everyone knew Game 4, the Phillies were going to go out there and they were going to win. And this feels exactly the same as that. As someone who was in the building for both, right, I feel like that pregame feeling is the same here tonight as it was at Citizens Bank Park that night in October of 22.
I could almost compare it to when the Eagles beat the Vikings.
Yeah, you knew.
En route to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit earlier in the playoffs.
Yeah,
than
but
that,
it's a similar kind of like, if this, and this isn't even like if 7 things go right.
Yeah.
If you figure out a way to stay out of the penalty box, you win this game tonight. I do expect that Pittsburgh, and we'll get to this when we do predictions, I expect that Pittsburgh will have a little bit of an uplift.
Especially early.
And especially with the change in goal.
Yeah.
But, like, ultimately, when these teams have been at even strength, it hasn't even been close. This team is rolling 4 lines. Pittsburgh can't keep up. And, like, by the way, this Flyers team has done it with that third line not really being much of a factor. Michkov hasn't been a factor. Barkey hasn't been a factor. Cates has been okay. But that fourth line has just stepped up in such a massive way. They have made it hell on earth at even strength. For Crosby, for Malkin, the team as a whole, not just a specific line. They haven't had a lot of room to operate. They haven't been able to get anything really going. Sustain pressure, not so much. Like, if this stays at even strength tonight, like, it should be a pretty sound win.
The Flyers are Mike said it, that they're a better 5-on-5 team. They're not just better. They're very much better. Like, they're exceptionally better than the Penguins at 5-on-5. And so, yeah, you're right. The less the Penguins get an opportunity on the power play, the easier this game will be for the Flyers.
Yep.
Now, that said, I don't want to, this isn't me trying to be a Debbie Downer, because I'm going to pick the Flyers in this game, right?
Okay.
All right. So
be careful, because the last time you went negative on one of our shows, it was when it was us and Mertitas, and you ended the show on a negative note, and then the Flyers lost the next game. So be careful.
Yeah. I'm
very careful.
All I'm going to say is, it's great that Dan Vladar is playing.
I am worried.
Dan Vladar is a hockey player, right? And guys play through injuries. Dan Vladar's got 3 injuries. Okay, the Flyers aren't going to talk about them, but he's got 3 injuries. I just wonder if he's really 100%.
Doesn't it then fall on the team to save him from himself?
Well,
I know that typically you want your players to go out and be gamers, but to have a 3-0 series lead, isn't there something to be said for?
I don't think that any one of the injuries is bad enough to pull you out.
Okay.
Like, let's put it that way, right?
Yep.
And I think that, one of the things that I took note of, and I put it out on Twitter this morning, was as soon as he came off the ice, the first thing he did, but he didn't go down the tunnel. The first thing he did, he took his mask off. He had a big smile on his face, and the entire athletic training staff, I think minus one guy, was standing on the bench. Okay. And he went over and went up to each guy and gave him a fist pound, almost like a thank you, to get him ready to play tonight, right? Yeah. That's how good he felt. So I like that said, I don't think it's a situation where it's like he's playing at 60%, but is he playing at maybe 90%, and maybe Pittsburgh can get a goal or two that you probably wouldn't have gotten if you were 100? Yeah, that's a possibility, right? Like, I think that that's kind of where it's at. So, like, I'm perfectly fine with him being in the lineup. You got to win tonight. You don't want to let Pittsburgh back in the series. You can't. I don't think you can trust Ersson in the same way. So you play Vladar if he can go. Yeah. Right. So I'm with them putting him in the lineup. I just wonder if this is one of those games where it's kind of like a higher scoring game.
I don't think so.
I think it might be.
If the only way it gets high scoring is if we see early that Vladar doesn't have the range of motion. And I think if we see very definitively he doesn't have the range of motion, they need to get him out. But I have to imagine that if they cleared him to play, that isn't going to be a factor.
Right. No, I think he's okay to play. I just wonder if there's he's just a little bit off.
Do you expect the game to be more wide open because Pittsburgh is truly in full-on desperation mode?
Well, I think that they are in desperation mode, but to the point that they need to also button it up defensively too. So just because you're desperate to win a game doesn't necessarily mean that you're desperate to come out of your structure. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, it might get to that point at some point. Like if the Flyers are ahead at some point, you might see Pittsburgh come out of it a little bit. But if it's a tight game, if it's a close game, they're going to stay within their structure. I don't think that opens it up at all. Only if the Flyers are ahead do I think you might see Pittsburgh start to push a little bit.
Hey, real quick, I just want to address, there's somebody in the comments who's clearly a Penguins fan. Captain Spaulding, I would like you, and I get it, Penguins have won more, they've certainly won Stanley Cups more recently than the Philadelphia Flyers have. I would highly encourage you to go pick up a history book about the Flyers and about some of the influences from the greater Philadelphia area that bailed your team out of bankruptcy. And then while you're sitting there soaking up your tears with whatever's near you, I want you to go and give a call to that Jabba the Hutt wannabe, Mark Madden. And you guys can go have a little time together chatting about.
Hey, by the way,
it's been so many years since the Flyers won a Stanley
Cup. He lost a lot of weight.
Did he?
Saw him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's great. You know, you can lose weight. When you lose 200 pounds and you were 650 to start, you're still huge. I also love the fact that, like, these Penguins fans have, like, no creativity. How many years has it been since the Flyers won a Stanley Cup? We get it, man. We get it. Swell. When's the last time Pittsburgh won a Super Bowl with a quarterback that wasn't accused of some heinous crimes? Let me know. Let me know. When's the last time your baseball team was relevant? Let me know. Let me know. Just wondering.
Amadeo, if you clip that up, just make sure my face is not on it anywhere.
Why?
It's all Russ.
Why?
That's all Russ with
What's
that.
wrong? What?
That's all Russ.
I saw you nodding. Well, you're afraid Mark Madden's going to come after you?
That's not the point.
Is he still on the radio?
I think he was there. He was at the game. He was in the press. He was in the press room.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Is there a chance your friend Penguin Jesus joins us tonight?
There you go.
What a fraud. That guy's an idiot, too.
I saw your rant. I watched your rant on him this morning.
I mean, listen, I very clearly on my show, I compared a lot of the Pittsburgh slime on Twitter to being like smooth-brained koalas. Do you know about koalas, right? And
look at these guys.
I know that guy's he's already over, sir. Do you know about koalas? You know, like your brain has the squiggly bits, right? Because we're intelligent beings.
Yeah.
Koalas have like smooth brains because they're dumb. Did you know that a koala, if you give it a eucalyptus plant, it can pick the leaf off and it'll eat? But if you take the leaf off and put it in front of it, it's like, I don't know what to do with this. That's what the Pittsburgh fans are. They were cherry picking the Konechny kick out at Russ, while also not paying attention to the rest of the clip where he slams Konechny to the ground, hits him in the back of the head, Waylay punches him with his head on the ice, and oh, by the way, Brian Russ also kicks at Konechny.
And listen.
Koalas.
I'm not going to push back against what you're saying, right? Like, I already put a tweet out before this series even started.
The Berg is living rent-free in my mind. You can live rent-free in Pittsburgh because nobody wants to live in the absolute dump of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Put French fries on your sandwich and be thankful that the Sheets family, lovely people, great place. That's the only thing that's good in Pittsburgh. Nobody wants to go to your ballpark. The only reason they do is to go watch your abomination of a baseball team.
It's a beautiful
because it's a beautiful ballpark. That's legitimately it. Oh, and there's falling water. Nice out there.
They're having a tough time.
Listen,
the hockey team is down 3-0, and Mekhi Lemon was literally on the phone with the Steelers when he was traded up to get him.
Hey, when life hands you lemons, go scramble because they didn't know who the hell to pick.
Yeah.
And they also might get in trouble, too. Did you see that? The Steelers violated a thing by not being on the clock and being on the phone with the player, and the Eagles couldn't get through. It was going around today. There might be some disciplinary action.
Anyway. They got their franchise quarterback, though, Drew Aller.
Captain Spaulding, 50 years and counting. It'll be 50 years for you if you're still alive until a woman puts her hand on the back of your head. God bless. Anthony, you were saying.
Anthony was saying nothing. Anthony is done saying anything.
What's wrong?
You've pushed the envelope a little bit. You've
pushed the envelope.
Just maybe off the edge.
I poo-pooed on the city of Pittsburgh.
And I look. First of all, I actually like the city of Pittsburgh. I think it's.
I've never been.
I think it's an underrated.
I'm sure that
I think it's an underrated city. To be honest with you,
it might be nice. I don't know.
But I'm mostly in agreement with you on the fans of Pittsburgh. Like I put a thing out on Twitter at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
About just I would take every Flyers fan, every last one of them who's cursed at me and yelled at me, called me names, right?
Yeah.
Called me a shill, called me fat, every last one of them. Okay? Every last one of them. Evan Atkins. I'd take Evan Atkins over Penguins
You would take
fans.
1,000 Evan Atkins over the Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm not painting all Penguins fans with the koala brush, okay? Because there are good Penguins fans.
I called them wet gremlins.
You called them wet gremlins?
Yeah, Allison reminded me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I did.
Anyway, we're not. If you're a Penguins fan and you're watching right now, we're not poo-pooing you. You've gotten to enjoy some nice hockey. It has been a great time for you with Crosby and Malkin and Letang. And the Flyers, very likely, will move on in this series, and we'll all be happy, and it'll be great. And then the NHL will, like, at some point in the not-too-distant future, probably rig a draft lottery so that you have, like, an heir apparent to Crosby. It's fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be great, guys. Just let these fans have their moment tonight.
Yeah.
All right?
It's all good.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
And this doesn't really spoil our predictions that we'll get to in a little bit. In my mind, if you're the Flyers, you have to wrap it tonight. I know that they play really well on the road, but to me, like, if this thing gets opened up a little bit, then this might go to 6.
You don't want to give them any breathing room here.
Correct.
You don't want to let them back in the series. And winning tonight lets them back in the series because they then look at it, and I know that they're going to sit there and tell you it's one game at a time. That's how you have to come back, and when you're down 0-3, blah blah blah, all that nonsense. But when you look at it holistically, you're like, okay, we're now 3-1, and we have to win 3 straight games, but 2 of them are at home, right?
Yeah.
Like you're feeling you get that first one, you start feeling a little bit better about yourself. Not saying you're any closer. It's that then Game 5 becomes all the pressure goes on the Flyers in Game 5.
Yeah.
Because the Penguins are home, they have nothing to lose. They're in front of their fans, and all the pressure is on a young Flyers team that has not done this before, that has not won a playoff series before, right? Like so the pressure really goes on. That's why tonight matters so much more for the Flyers than I think you might think in a 3-0 lead in a series. So it is important. Yeah. It's very important.
It's a wild time to think about, like, where this team was, how they've gotten here, and the sheer domination. I mean, it's funny. I know Biz called it, scumbag hockey or whatever, and then he kind of said it's a term of endearment or whatever. People got upset. But, like, it takes 2 to tango. This entire series has been chippy. It's been it has been dirty. It's been a little bit gross, kind of like that giant fly over there by Bundy's seat. Let's get that thing. That thing's huge. Oh, my gosh.
It was big.
Holy smokes. It's been a chippy series. I think it's kind of lived up to the hype. And if we're being real, I think the NHL would have loved for this to go 7 games. It's a ratings bonanza. It has been. But the Flyers have just taken care of business. It is a truly impressive thing. And listen, I was certainly a detractor at points this season in the usage of Michkov with Tocchet. And more than anything, with the way that Tocchet spoke publicly about some things, I thought it was a lot of unforced errors. He's pressed every right button. This has been a coaching masterclass. He has outcoached Dan Muse in every possible way.
He has.
You got to give him credit. You got to give him credit.
The funny thing is, Russ, is because this is going to go back to the Anthony being a shill thing. If you go back to when they hired Rick Tocchet, you asked me. You said, "What do I think of the hire?" And I said, "I think Rick Tockett's a good enough coach that is going to get this team to the playoffs. He's going to make them a playoff team. He's going to teach them how to play hockey the right way, and they're going to get there." And what I said to you, though, my concern was that when he got to the playoffs, was he a good enough tactician to outcoach other coaches?
Yeah,
that's where I was unsure. This is a small sample. We've had 3 games, so I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that this is locked in place, right? And that this is going to be the way it is all the time. But so, like you just said, so far in 3 games, he's completely outcoached Dan Muse. I don't know if that continues in this series. You hope it does. I don't know if he will do the same thing against Rod Brind'Amour in the next round because Carolina advanced today, right? Like that's a whole different animal that we'll get to eventually. And beyond that, like I don't know if he can go beyond that. But he's gotten to this point, and so far, he's proven that he can do this job and do it very well when given the opportunity to have a team that can do that, right? I mean, I really feel like there's a lot positive to be said about, more positive to be said about Rick Tocchet than negative coming off of the way that this team's been playing for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks.
He's not a shill.
Yeah.
And it's true. There's nothing to disagree with. Spot on. Nailed it. All right, let's see. We got 13 minutes, allegedly, until...
Actually, more than that. 13 minutes till the anthem.
That's what I was saying. 13 minutes until we get to Lauren Hart doing...
Do you think that she does God Bless America again today? Up 3-0?
Can I say...
She's 3-0 since she's done it.
Can I give you an honest assessment here?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you got to be careful.
I agree.
I think you got to be careful that you don't overdo it.
I agree. You can't keep doing it every game.
No. I think they probably will. I don't think they should.
I wouldn't do it today either. It's not a must win. You're trying to find out here? We're going to try and find out, actually, if it's being done.
Yeah. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Hey, for the record, I asked Mike the organist.
He wouldn't tell you.
And whoever's listening from Spectacor, he wouldn't give the answer. That man is committed to his job.
That's good.
Stud.
He's awesome.
Bonafide stud. Best organist. I'll tell you what. We need to have an organist.
Number one ranked organist.
Ranked organist.
In North America.
And why stop at North America? Why not the Western Hemisphere? Planet Earth. Let's just keep it going. He's fantastic. By the way, if you ever come up to meet us, we're just a bunch of jamokes. We're having fun. Mike the organist, great guy.
Awesome.
Genuinely good human being.
Yeah.
We'll take a picture with you. We'll show you the organ. We'll not play Happy Birthday for you in the middle of the game, however.
That request was
that drunk lady last year
was an all-timer.
Was hammered.
Look, he's posing for pictures right now.
Right there. Right there. Great. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Top notch.
Yeah.
Right. Let's have a little conversation about tonight. So we spoke a little bit earlier about the situation in net. Vladar, you're saying, has 3 injuries. That's not ideal. Pittsburgh goes to the backup. Some might argue that that's overreactionary. Do you feel like it was the right call to bench Stuart Skinner in this game?
They're all excited. They're all fired up.
Excited.
They're fired up. I love it.
Would you have benched Skinner?
No. Because I don't think he played all that. I mean, look, last game
there were some bad ones.
There were 2 goals. The Ristolainen goal was probably the weakest. The Sealer goal, when you look at the video review, he had a clear look at it and it beats him over the glove. So you look at those 2 and you sit there and go, yeah, your goalie needs to make those saves. But even if he does, I don't think it matters. Like, I really don't. I don't think there's a difference. I think the Flyers win the game even if he makes those saves. Those are games 1 and 2. He kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why Muse is doing this. Like, you're trying to ignite the team.
It's the only real desperate thing you could do to try to
you're trying to jumpstart the team, right? And so
without messing with all your lines.
Right. So like that's what he's trying to do. So I get it. I wouldn't have done it. I would have stuck with. I think you send a better message to your team, like we can still win with Stuart Skinner. Like, because now what happens if you win this game? Is Sheilov's your guy going forward 4 straight games? Your backup,
you'd imagine
your backup goalie is going to play 4 straight games when he's not done that all year long.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, to me, you stick with what got you there. It'd be different if Skinner was playing poorly. Then I'd say, okay, fine. But the Penguins are not losing this series because Stuart Skinner was not good in goal.
Go back to Spalding there really quick. See, we've now made peace with Captain Spalding. Good comment. Says you would have stuck with Skinner.
I would have.
That's a Pittsburgh fan saying that.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. I told you before last game, there were some Pittsburgh fans who were using the expected goals against as like the proof of why Skinner shouldn't have been playing because he had allowed more goals than the expected goals.
Yeah.
Whereas Vladar had a lower actual goals versus expected goals. It's like if you watched the game 1 and 2 in Pittsburgh, that was not Stuart Skinner's fault. I saw that. Who sent you that? Because I need to know. All right. I assume that he sent it to me. I'll pull it up here.
Yeah.
We've had some Photoshops coming in, and we've had some comparative images, we'll say, coming our way about Dan Muse. So we're gonna pull this up here in a second, but yeah, it's something, Ant.
Yeah, it is. By the way, everybody's pointing out the Minnesota Wild tied it late in the 3rd period, and they're headed to overtime against Dallas.
Oh,
in Game 4.
In this economy?
That's a big goal for them, because if you got down 3-1 to Dallas, you probably were not winning 3 in a row with 2 of them in Dallas. So,
why can't I pull this picture up? What the heck is going on?
Marcus Foligno scored the tying goal with 5:20 to go in the third period.
So there have been people noting that Dan Muse looks like a bunch of different people. I thought he looked like Moby. My wife said Moby.
Yeah, he does look like Moby.
I think he looks like if Jordan Hall from NBC Sports Philly had his head shaved. Somebody threw out the Dean from Community.
Okay.
But then video guy Amadeo put together this absolute beauty. Dana Carvey, right, in Master of Disguise.
That's just wrong.
Is it, though?
This is wrong.
Is it, though? Kind of does look like him.
I think he looks like Dan Hurley, too, the UConn basketball coach.
Yeah, but Dan Hurley's got, like, more of a little bit of a snarl to him. Like, Dan Muse looks like a guy who could very easily be your accountant. He looks like a guy who could be, like, the bus driver, maybe your kid's elementary teacher. Like, he doesn't... Hurley looks like a psychopath a little bit, you know?
I got you.
So, anyway. Oh, I love that. The Great Adventure commercials.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Six.
So there you go.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh, by the way, while we're in this view,
yeah,
don't forget Darth Vladar shirts are available over at shop.snowthegoalie.com. We have a bunch of other stuff, too. But if you're out there thinking to yourself, boy, I think I'd love to have a new shirt or a hoodie between now and the next series, there's never a better time than to go over to shop.snowthegoalie.com. We've got the Darth Vladar. We've got the orange and the black. Got some Snow the Goalie logo shirts. Got some other stuff over there. If you really want to, I still have it up there. It's the Iron Giant, the Ivan Fedotov shirt. That sold a lot.
It did.
Initially.
Yeah.
And then he played.
Yeah, it did. Still my all-time favorite's the Bundy Butte shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's still there.
The Bundy Butte
It looks
shirt
like
is my favorite.
like a mug shot.
It's hysterical.
It's great.
That photo of him is one of the all-time greatest photos.
So anyway, shop.snowthegoalie.com. Go get your merch.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, tell your family. We don't really make much money at all on them, but they're kind of like a love letter. Although I don't want to spoil it. I have exchanged some messages with somebody that was on this show who is a local designer. And I would like to try to work with on some designs because he's been crushing it. Been seeing some stuff over on Instagram. So we'll hopefully get something worked out there.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a local designer. It's just me.
Yeah. By the way, I can't believe how many people have been stopping you and me and Bundy wherever we are in the past couple weeks.
It's been insane.
It's been nuts. Like
Yep.
anywhere we go, you got people talking to you on a plane
Yep.
from Denver.
Yep.
You know, Bundy and I were at dinner together, and like everybody just came up to us, like, you know, all fired up for the Flyers and everything. Like
We had a
great.
line of people before we went live today.
Literally, as I was walking up, there were 3 guys waiting for us, and go, "Oh, here they come!" And it was just me. Right, here they come. Right, so it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. I'm glad
it's just further proof that there are great fans in the city. There are a lot of Flyers fans who've been waiting for this moment to kind of let out years of frustration and now turn that into elation at the arena. I think Bundy's on his way over with his keys.
David Castleman says he wears his Bundy Butte shirt all the time in Roanoke, Virginia.
Really?
I just wonder what the people of Roanoke think about that shirt.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, do they know who it is? Like, do they ask?
I would assume so.
I got to tell Bundy that as he comes in here right now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Speaking of the Butte,
number 6 in your program, number 1 in our hearts, Chris Therien. Bundy, how you doing, stud?
Good. I was here earlier to get all our chairs, just so you know, our intern wasn't doing his job. How do I get here before our intern?
They shout your failures, they whisper your accomplishments. It's fine.
You're lucky you have a chair down there. Honest to God, you are lucky.
so
You
but
would have been standing the whole night.
Where's that lady at?
She's right over there.
She's over there?
Yeah.
Did they give her new chairs or no?
I don't know if they gave her. No, she just said
She's
she
gotta come
wanted
on
a
she's gotta
chair
come on
to
first
come on
intermission.
first intermission.
all right.
And that was a hell of a deal.
It was a deal. It was a great deal. So, Bundy, before we get to your keys of the game and then we get to our picks, there's a guy who was just in here in the chat, David Castleman, who said he wears the Bundy Butte T-shirt all the time walking around Roanoke, Virginia. What do you
Really?
think those people in Roanoke, Virginia think of that?
They must get a kick out of that, huh?
Right? Isn't that awesome?
That's great.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right.
Bundy, you have those keys?
I got them.
It's time for Bundy's keys of the game.
3 keys to the game tonight. Number 1, the start of this hockey game. In an elimination game, it's always hardest to win the last game of a series to close a team out. What will go a long way in this game tonight is the Flyers have a good settled start, try to take the lead and move forward from there. Don't give Pittsburgh any life or reason to believe in this hockey game. End the series tonight with a good start. Number 2, continued excellence from the fourth line. Coots, Hathaway, and Glendening have been absolutely terrific in this series when they've been either checking, defending, producing offense, or shutting down Sidney Crosby. They've added a big layer of depth to the Flyers lineup. Number 3, Dan Vladar needs to continue to be the rock he has been for the Flyers. I would expect tonight that he's going to see a lot more traffic in front of the net than he's seen in this series so far, and Pittsburgh will test him, thinking he may not be 100% from the injuries last game.
We get things started.
You're going first today?
So I'll be honest. I think that there's a good chance they finish it tonight. I'm going to pick them. If they don't win tonight, I think it comes back here for Game 6. The one thing that I think Rick Tocchet has probably emphasized to his team is we cannot allow this Pittsburgh team, this Crosby, Malkin, Letang core, to see a little bit of light. You got to slam that door shut. They got to get on the board early. I think this might be the most important game for them to score the first goal. I think they're going to take advantage of the energy in the crowd. I don't know how Vladar is going to look, so I am going to make it a little bit higher scoring. I'm going to take the Flyers tonight 4-3 to close out the series.
I had it 5-3 Flyers. I told some guys before the game that was my pick for the game today. And I think it's because what you just said, Bundy. I do have a little bit of concern of Vladar being mildly compromised. He's like, if you're like I was saying to Russ earlier, I think he's probably about 90%.
Yeah, I agree with that. And most people, nobody's 100% now.
Right.
Nobody
right. And so he's good enough to play. Certainly, I'm perfectly fine with him being in the lineup, but he might not be as sharp as he was in the first few games. So I think this one ends up being a little bit higher scoring. But I like the Flyers tonight to wrap it up 5-3.
Yeah, I just don't think Pittsburgh can play with the Flyers the way that they're playing defensively, the way they're checking. They've had a hard time getting to the middle of the ice in the offensive zone, the Penguins have. And I think the Flyers roll tonight, guys. I'm going Flyers 4, Pittsburgh 1.
Wow. Intern.
I really hope I'm wrong, but I think Pittsburgh keeps this going. I like the Penguins 4-3 tonight. I hope I'm wrong.
Why did we make him go last? Why did we make him go last? That's like
you've had a rough day today.
What, I had to blindly pick the Flyers every game?
No,
I think
wait.
You should. They're winning every night.
Didn't you do that when they were on a losing streak? You didn't, did you?
Oh, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to keep picking them until they win.
Right. Yes, you did.
I just think Pittsburgh has too many veterans to get swept. They'll hang on.
Well, I do kind of tend to.
They're old veterans.
Yeah.
I know, but they're some of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
All right. They were some of the best to ever do it.
There you go, Bundy. There you go.
All right, if you missed anything, we had a long pregame. Mike Sealski was here from the Inquirer early on. You can also always go back on YouTube, Facebook, and X, scrub back to the beginning. And we'll be back here, first intermission, second intermission, postgame. Don't forget, we also keep the StatCast up throughout the game. So if you have a tablet, a phone, or whatever, and you're watching it on your TV, you can just keep the stream pulled up. Just a favor, though. Like the video, share the video, subscribe, and let some family and friends know about the Press Row Show. Send them a link. We'll talk to all of you first intermission here on God Bless America. All right. Talk to all of you soon. Welcome into the Press Row Show, the number one rated pregame intermission postgame show this side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Latvia. If there was a thought that there could be maybe a little bit of a bump, a boost to morale to Pittsburgh with a goalie change, not saying that's what happened in that period, but Flyers had their opportunities, and they closed out the period with a power play opportunity that really didn't get a lot going there. But a 1-0 lead, and guys, the thing that we said going into this, the only time Pittsburgh's really been able to get anything going of substance in the series has been on the man advantage. And surprise, surprise, it's where they capitalized in that first.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Flyers had some shots. I don't think they had great chances that period. A lot of point shots. That looks like Seelov saw a lot of stuff. I thought Pittsburgh probably played their best period of the series so far. I thought they were a little bit better at even strength than we've seen them in the past. They moved the puck a little bit more efficiently through the neutral zone and into the D zone. They got a power play goal from Crosby, and then Vladar made the save of the series on a 2-on-2 that Crosby got wide on, and it was right on his tape. And Vladar made a sensational save to keep it at 1-0. It would have been 2-0 Pittsburgh at the time, but not a bad period. I think there's another gear the Flyers could take it to, but they should have no problem at all mentally being down 1-0. They were last game, and they just got to keep playing.
They've done it enough this year, right? Yeah. I'm with Bundy. I mean, it wasn't a great period, but it wasn't a bad period by any stretch of the imagination. I felt like a couple of shifts they had good possession, good chances, but they didn't. Look, Shielov's made a couple okay saves, but they're not really testing him yet.
No, they haven't really gotten anything. When Zegras had that one play at the side of the net that almost went in.
Yeah,
that
so
was a close play.
We only saw a couple replays here. I'm not sure what the people at home are getting on TV. My thought on the play was, because it looked like the shot, was up over the pad and it kind of got under his elbow or his wrist arm area, and then when he slid backwards into the net, my thought was, did he go take the puck into the goal with him? And it was really, there was no angle that we saw that showed anything of substance, so I can't say one way or the other. But at one point, it did look like his elbow was inside the net. Question is, where's the puck? Right? Is it that far back? Is it up by his glove? Is it in his glove? We never really could see on the replay here. So I don't know what they showed at home. But, that was really the best chance. I thought he made a nice save on Zegras on the power play there at the end. Martone was standing right in front for looking for a rebound, but Shielov's covered it, held onto the puck, doesn't give up the rebound, and so therefore keeps the play. I thought those were his two most important saves. Other than that, everything else, the Flyers had 9 shots, but it didn't seem like it, right?
Yeah, it didn't feel like that.
Yeah,
it was a weird period like that. I was just looking at the scoreboard at the end of the game, and end of the period, and I thought to myself, that doesn't seem right, but they did. They had 9 shots on goal, just not a lot of secondary chances.
Yeah. So there were 2 things that kind of stood out. Flyers outshoot Pittsburgh almost 2-1 in that period. The thing that makes me go, is that the Pens out-hit the Flyers in that period.
Yeah, they did.
And it's felt like this entire series, the Flyers have had more jump, they've played more physically, and they've pretty much dominated play from a physical standpoint. So I guess you give a little tip of the cap to Pittsburgh for showing up and showing out in the first, but I think all things considered, guys, a 1-0 hole isn't that bad. And if there was a concern on the goal that Vladar gave up, to your point, that incredible save that he had on Crosby not that long after probably puts some of the concerns about the injuries to
it makes up for it, because he needed to stop the shot that Crosby scored on. The goalie's got to make that save, right? But conversely, when you look at the save that he makes on Crosby, 9 out of 10 times that's a goal.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of a wash.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah. It easily could be 2-0 Penguins. It was not for Vladar.
Right.
That save on Crosby was remarkable.
Yeah.
One of the things that has kind of reared its head in this series but hasn't come back to bite them too badly, the Flyers, is young guys taking penalties. When we talked about it last game, Michkov takes that late penalty that leads to a power play goal, makes it a little bit uncomfortable in the third period. And then, in that first period, Denver Barkey takes a penalty that leads to the power play goal for Pittsburgh. What? Oh, she's got the shirt.
She's got the shirt on.
She's got the shirt.
Yeah.
The Believe shirt.
That's a great shirt.
We got a guest coming on. We're going to tell you how we got a guest coming on.
All right, let's bring her on.
All right, bring her on.
Come on in, Monica.
Bundy's gonna have to set the stage for this one.
Yeah.
Come on in a little bit.
Intern.
more.
I'm in.
Intern, let's go.
Yeah, we got you. We got you on
We're
there.
going to fix the camera. We're going to get you in.
All right, so Bundy, do you want to introduce our guest?
This is Monica, and I'll tell you what, we wouldn't be sitting here tonight if it wasn't for Monica. When I came in tonight, our intern who didn't do his job again, I had to go looking for our chairs because usually the chairs are here about an hour and a half before. But because of the people coming in the building tonight, all the chairs were taken away.
Yeah.
And I happened to just grab the two next to her and said, we need these chairs. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you want to come on the show at intermission, tell us a little bit about yourself, what a Flyer fan you are, if we can have that extra chair. And she was so grateful enough to do that for us. So welcome, Monica, to the Press Row Show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. We are doing this tonight. I have been coming to the Flyers since probably a baby, 1971. This all started for the love of the Flyers with my aunt. She would bring me all the time. I wanted to show you this picture.
Oh, this is great. I love that.
My children.
She's going to show Bundy a picture. You guys aren't going to see
Well,
it.
we might
This is
be
a
able to
playoff
figure it out.
game.
Oh,
They're both in the building tonight.
beautiful.
She's 26. She's 23, about to graduate nursing
I have
school.
kids the same
She
age.
just got married.
Yeah,
I
I got-
think we got married the same year.
1997?
Yes, and you know how I know that?
Oh, this is great.
Because I was in with my husband and the groomsmen getting their tuxedos, and you were in getting yours.
How about what a small world. You
How
live in New
about that?
Jersey?
August 2nd, 1997.
Yeah, I was July 26th of 1997, yeah.
Look at that.
What are
What are the
is
odds
this?
of that?
What are the
Small world.
odds of this?
Well-
I just told this story tonight at dinner at Chicky and Pete's.
That
That's
is
Chickies
that's
and Pete's
that's a
of-
truly wild
Right?
story.
Unreal.
So this is our night. I'm not worried.
Well, Monica, thank you so much.
Monica,
Now,
did
you
you
are a
get
gem.
did you get
You
any
are-
chairs? Did anybody give you chairs back?
We did get
Oh,
chairs.
All right,
thank
good.
God.
Good.
Thank God.
Yes.
Because if not, we would have given you the intern's chair.
Because
Yeah, we
he's-
were gonna
because
give you
he's
his chair
screwed up.
back, yeah.
You can still take it if you want.
I'm really happy to give them up to you guys.
Yeah, but if she takes your chair, then you're going to have to stand there while the music plays behind
He
you.
should be standing after not showing up here early enough tonight.
Who took our chairs though?
Fans.
There was no chairs
These are
here.
questions we have.
That's what I'm saying. But we left them here at the end of Game 3. So
Yeah, but
in
there
the
was a
interim,
Sixers game last
Yeah.
night.
Everything gets taken down.
that's ridiculous.
This is like intern Andrew finding out that the teachers don't actually live in the school.
She did. Monica, you are an absolute saint.
You say
Thank
Caps.
you. We
Stick
love
caps.
you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Yes.
Stick taps.
Thank you so much.
Go
All right.
Flyers. Love
Thank
a better
you, Monica.
period.
That was the marvelous Monica
Yeah.
Marvelous Monica.
on the Press Row Show.
She was so great and so gracious, and I can't thank her enough for what she did for us. So,
They were all excited. They were videotaping her the entire
They were
time.
so excited. And listen,
Yeah,
why
It's
not?
awesome.
That's when people are like, oh, why do we want to watch the Press Row Show instead of some of the other options out there? That's why. All right,
Yeah. You ain't getting that anywhere else.
we're out here having fun.
You ain't getting that
That-
anywhere else.
you know,
having her on was absolutely worth 4
Dude,
chairs.
how about her? What are the odds that the person who you have to get chairs for us from happened to be in the same tuxedo place 29 years ago
Yeah.
as you?
Yeah,
how about that?
crazy, huh?
Small world.
Small world.
So what were you saying about July 26th?
That was my wedding day.
That's my mom's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Again, small
Small
world.
world.
Well, he's going to try to deflect some of the pain and some of the problems that happened today. But it is the first intermission, and that means it is time to bring on the much maligned this evening, intern Andrew, for his stat of the night. Intern, bless your heart.
Yep. But still early. I got to redeem myself here. Still early. All right. Okay. So game.
The song's starting. What song are we getting tonight?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, we have
We have live music behind.
they're singing
behind
again?
Andrew.
Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night?
It's happening again.
All right, Russ, you got to start dancing so that when they get you on camera, on the big board, you're
Oh, yeah.
dancing.
Well, they got to turn it this way.
Yeah, well, he's got to be on the angle.
I might throw up a.
Yeah.
Oh, here, hold on. Let me see if I can snow the goalie logo on my phone. All right, intern.
Go ahead.
This is
Stat of
your
the
moment.
night.
So game 3 was Wednesday. Sealer, Ristolainen, Zegras, and Cates, all 4 had their first career playoff goals in that game. That is the first time an NHL team has had 4 different players score their first career playoff goal in the same game since the Predators did it in 2017, Game 2 against the Blackhawks. Those 4 were Colton Sissons, Kevin Fiala, Harry Zolarchuk, and Flyers legend Ryan Ellis.
Harry Zollnerchuk.
Former legend Harry Zollnerchuk too.
Flyer
legend.
I didn't even know he
Another he
Yes.
came here first, and then he ended up he went to Pittsburgh,
Okay.
and then Nashville. Yeah.
Is he as big a legend as Ryan Ellis is, though? That's
Well, he's a legend. Ellis is a legend for different reasons.
And then for Pittsburgh tonight is Artur Shilov's 11th career postseason start, and his first since the 2024 playoffs when he was playing for the Canucks, where ironically his coach was Rick Tocchet.
Yeah.
So the first round of that series, Demko got hurt, so Shilov's had to come in and fill in. The Canucks beat the Predators in the first round 4-2, and Game 6, the series-clinching win, Shilov's actually had a shutout. So he's the 14th rookie goalie in NHL history to have a shutout in a series-clinching win.
Good stat.
Thank you.
You're halfway to making it up for tonight already.
I was going to say, Bundy, where does he land on the playoff performer now?
No, he's picked it up now. He's okay.
Thank you.
He's okay. He's just got to realize that there's a monster truck rally,
You know what the-
Flyers game.
Motocross.
You know
right?
what
Like even I left my house at 5:15.
You know what the best part about this whole thing is? Bundy has been killing Andrew since it happened, right? Like since the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
From before the game, like ripping him, absolutely destroying him, right? And Andrew is just taking it in stride.
Stud.
3 years ago, the first time Bundy did this to Andrew, Andrew was a mess.
I thought he was actually mad.
He was. Wasn't that when he spoiled the game?
Yeah,
No. Way back when we first started.
I think it's because I ruined the fly. I didn't know he wasn't watching it live.
Yes.
You ruin scores for people. You
I
do
did.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I learned my lesson. I don't do it anymore.
But Andrew was he came up to me after you yelled at him that night, 3 years ago, and he was like, "Is Bundy really mad?" It's like,
Bundy actually- Bundy
No, not really.
yeah, and I was like,
Bundy
"No."
really upset with me.
I said, "No, it's Bundy. He's just breaking them for you." And he's like, "Oh, okay." I was worried, and I was just like, and now he just takes it all in stride. He's like,
Yeah, he's got it in stride now.
I
He's a
will.
good-
I
he's a
will.
good-
Whenever the next Flyers home playoff game is, I'm going to get here at 9 a.m.
Well, you may not have to because there won't be a monster truck rally.
Is that really what it is?
There's a monster truck rally over at the link.
25,000 people in the link right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Watch his hands go
Game
vroom,
3,
vroom.
it wasn't
There
hard to
was
get here at all.
there was warnings all over Twitter today about it.
News to
I
me.
actually thought it was the curse of Florence and her machine, which are down in Atlantic City tonight.
Yes.
They were supposed to be here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, intern, nice job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job, intern.
Yeah, he's watching himself on the scoreboard right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think you know somebody. Intern, turn around and, let them know about Snow the goalie. Press row show. Look at him. He's just...
Yeah, that's good.
All right, well. Gents.
Yeah.
Bundy, I want to actually throw this to you. So,
Yeah.
pressure-wise, think a lot of pressure, obviously, but pregame would be on Pittsburgh to avoid elimination. You could argue that there might be more pressure on the Flyers to try to close out a sweep. Based on how that first period went, is there a breath of relief that Pittsburgh lets out for getting up early, or does nothing really change?
I don't think for the message to the Flyers in their own heads should change at all. I mean, they structurally and systemically, they're just a better team the way they're playing and defending. I mean, look at the goal that Pittsburgh got. It was a touch pass to Crosby, a turnaround hope-for shot, and it ended up going in. It was a nice shot. There's no doubt about it, but it wasn't like it was like a beautiful play out of it. No, I just think the Flyers need to stay focused on their 5-on-5, and when they get a power play opportunity, keep getting shots through. But I don't think it changes anything at all.
And
No, I think Bundy's spot on with that. Pittsburgh's here. They got to think they're trying to win this game, and they're going to do it structurally.
Yep.
Right? They're not going to get outside themselves. They're going to, if anything, I think that they might start to play a little bit more, defensively as the game goes on if they continue to hold the lead. So they're not going to get outside themselves. They're not going to give the Flyers they had. Remember, the Flyers had all those breakaways in Game 1. That ain't going to happen tonight, right? Flyers are going to have to work for their ice. They're going to have to work for their time and space and find it and create it and take advantage of it when they can. Because Pittsburgh's going to probably play a little bit tighter, a little bit more of what Bundy likes to call, a really good road game.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I think that's what the Penguins are going to continue to do. And it's not going to change unless the Flyers figure out a way to get ahead of them.
Yeah, the Flyers, the Penguins had a good road period.
Yeah.
Just played one. Now, I don't believe that they can do it for 60 minutes, and that's where my hope is with the Flyers to come out and kind of put belt to ass in this second period and take over the game. The longer the game goes on, it seems like Philadelphia's gotten better in every single game they played.
So really, in your mind, it's almost critical to reassert your dominance physically to start the second period, set the tone.
Just keep playing. Like when the puck's there and there's a battle for the puck. If there's a hit to be had, take the hit. But don't overdo anything. Just keep playing your game because I feel the longer the game goes on, it's gonna be to the Flyers' favor.
We're in an interesting spot. I mean, nobody thought that this would be in play, a potential sweep. And it's still 40 minutes away. You got to figure out a way to get back into this one. But this team has shown a lot of resiliency. And I guess to their credit, and maybe Bundy, like all those times that we said earlier in the year, you got to stop falling behind. You got to stop falling behind and playing from behind. Well, they know how to do it. I mean, I guess that's the good news when you do fall behind at home this early is you do know how to overcome it.
They've been masters at coming from behind the entire year.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's had more come from behind wins than the Flyers this year. They've been down a lot in hockey games through the year and played with a deficit a lot of the season. So it shouldn't bother them at all. I don't think there's any nerves at all. I think they're going to be a relaxed group and come out here and notch it up another level for the second period, and that's what they have to do.
12 seconds to start the period. Is that enough time to get anything of value going there, Bundy?
You may be able to get a rush chance out of it, but I mean, in terms of setup and making a play, no.
Yeah, Bundy, Russ mentioned the hits. Pittsburgh out-hit them that period. I think that's the first time in the first period in all 4 games that Pittsburgh out-hit the Flyers.
Right.
Does it concern you at all that the Flyers were only 13 hits that first period, considering how many they had? I think it was like 17, 19, 28 in the first 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's down a little bit, but sometimes it's a scenario where they're there and sometimes they're not, and you can't run out of position to get them.
Right.
But I'd like to see them be a little bit more physical than they were in that first period.
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
All right, we will be back second intermission and post game here on the Press Row Show. Do us a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe, and don't forget, we keep the StatCast up during the period, so you can keep the stream going on your phone, your tablet, your computer, second screen, whatever you want to do. We'll talk to all of you second intermission here on the Press Row Show.
Hey, Fergie! Hey, Fergie! Hey, Fergie! Hey, Fergie! Hey, Fergie! Hey, Fergie!
welcome into the Press Row Show. Why are we potato camming the Press Row Show right now? Do you see a potato cam?
Yeah, mine's frozen. Potato cam.
Oh, boy.
It looks fine on mine.
No.
Oh, I'm glad yours is working.
Every time that it's ever happened that intern said, oh, it looks fine on mine, it legit looks like potato cam. Let's see what the people are seeing at home. Anyway, welcome into the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame, intermission, postgame show. This side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, west of Latvia. Intern, they're saying potato cam. They're saying potato. That's what they're saying. Many people are saying potato cam. You know, that was a period, guys, that looked ugly for a good long chunk. Vladar behind the net. Puck comes out front. He tries to dive to keep it out. Fails to do so. It's a 2-0 lead, and it felt like, man, if Pittsburgh can get another one quickly, that might have been a goalie change very much on the table. Instead, the game kind of levels off a bit. Flyers, from probably an 8.5, 9-minute mark left of the period, started to really turn it on. And then Denver Barkey finds the back of the net. Cuts the lead in half.
Looks like Tocchet juggled the lines a little bit there. This is my favorite thing that he does.
Who?
Russ. He just gets up, like he starts talking to you, and you go to answer what he said, and then he gets up and walks away.
And he leaves.
Because he's trying to figure out the technology. But anyway, it looked like Bundy that he changed up the lineup a little bit there. He put Barkey with Zegras and Tippett.
Yeah.
And moved Forster down with Cates and Mishkov.
Yeah.
This was something that I know that they were thinking about prior to game one. It was certainly discussed. Tocchet ultimately didn't do it. But it looks like it was something that, the team needed to kind of jumpstart the team there in the second period, and he made that switch. And lo and behold, Denver Barkey scored. Now, the play is made much earlier, right? I believe it was Ristolainen who keeps the puck in at the point initially. The play stays in the zone. They change defensemen, and then Cam York is eventually out there with Drysdale. But credit to Barkey for being as small as he is.
God, is he small.
Getting to the area that he got to.
Yeah, he got to the front of the net. Had his stick on the ice. I mean, the Pittsburgh defense is just awful in their own zone. That's a play right there where the guy wants to stand there. All you got to do is lift his stick. He didn't even remove his stick from the play.
Yeah.
Zegras was just staring at it, put it right on the tape. Beautiful goal.
Well, it looked like what had happened just watching the replay. I didn't see it live. I didn't see this live. But it looked like he spun off of, I think it was Wotherspoon.
Yeah.
It looked like he spun off him like almost like a basketball player who's backing his way in and pump fakes one way and spins the other, and spun off Wotherspoon and split the two defensemen to get in front and presented his stick to Zegras.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect play.
Yeah, really nice play. Really nice play. And then, man, Travis Sanheim with a golden opportunity rings one off the crossbar, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough break there.
Flyers started to get going, though, about the last 10 minutes of that period.
And what did they do, Bundy? They played physical.
Yeah, they got physical again. Yeah,
they put
Bucks in deep.
And that's the thing with this Pittsburgh. You talk about how bad Pittsburgh is defensively in their own end, right? When you start pressuring them and hitting them and forcing them to turn the puck over or get rid of the puck quickly or whatever the case might be, that's what creates these opportunities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, that was missing for much of the first half of the game.
Yeah, they've definitely been more engaged. They've had the crowd behind them the whole night, but that was a tough goal on the second one by Vladar.
Oh.
That was as rough as it gets. Tried to move it behind the net, put it right on the stick of Raquel, and he just circled the wagons and just threw it in home there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Russ is here, by the way. If anybody's wondering where he is, he's here. He's trying to fix the technology with the show. Why we're in.
I'm gonna test something really quick. I want to see how intern Andrew looks when we bring him on, and if he looks any better than we do.
Well, is that ever the case?
Well, that's a fair question. No, look, his is messed up too. I don't know what's going on. We haven't had this in a very long time.
I wonder if it's too many people in the building and hooked up the Wi-Fi.
Well,
No, we're on a wired connection over here.
Connection.
We tested the internet and everything's fine. It's just the.
Do you want me to try to leave and come back in?
No, because if you leave, then the whole thing crashes.
No, I mean you would have to pull yourself up on your laptop for a second. But I mean,
pull ourselves up on our laptops. Then they'd have to. Then we wouldn't have the mics. It'd be a disaster.
It would take like 20 seconds. But
all right, intern, let's give it a shot.
No, you don't have to if you don't want.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead, intern. Back out.
Just tell the people.
Friends, we'll be right back. All right, let's see if it fixed.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Set it, leave, and come back in. Sometimes you just got to unplug it and plug it back in.
Sir, is your computer plugged in?
I know.
Intern, good job. Hey, stick taps to intern.
His night has gotten better.
Hey, you know what? That is true. Bundy, he's gotten progressively better as the night's gone on.
Couldn't have been any worse than the start he had.
So maybe intern Andrew's like the Flyers today.
Hey,
rough start.
If the Flyers follow the intern's path tonight,
it's gonna be a sweep.
It'll be a nice finish to this game.
It's not how you start; it's how you finish, intern.
Flyers will have a lot of opportunities in the third.
I think
the way
so,
that they
too.
had in the 10, I think they'll have plenty of chances to get that second goal to tie it.
You know what our luck is here tonight, Bundy, don't you?
What's that?
So what time was puck drop tonight?
8:22.
You know what that means, don't you?
What's that?
Overtime.
OT tonight? Yeah. Yeah, I said it too earlier. I smell it tonight for some reason.
Just because I can see overtime tonight. So, anyway.
I'd rather not. I'd really rather not.
No, you and me both.
Unless it's a win. I'll take overtime if it's a win.
Yeah, I'll take it if it's a win too. But if it's a loss and I got to leave early tomorrow to go to Pittsburgh, I'm miserable.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you have to leave tomorrow?
You got to get there the night before.
Do you?
Because
you're going to do morning skate.
Yeah, morning skate on Monday. Yeah.
You going to fly or drive?
I'm not flying. The prices are just ridiculous.
How much is it to fly to Pittsburgh?
Round trip right now to fly to Pittsburgh is over $800.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's
Stop
insane.
By the way, we're going back to Potato Cam.
Yeah, it's awful.
But anyway, $800 round trip.
Yeah.
In this economy. Did you try to check flying out of Lehigh Valley?
No.
Every once in a while, you get lucky.
Yeah, I'm not driving up there to fly to Pittsburgh.
It's the return of the Potato Cam. Well, while we're on Potato Cam, guys, why don't we tune up the band?
Yeah.
It is second intermission, which means that through the Potato Cam, we'll fight through the Potato Cam tonight. We're going to go out to intern Andrew and his trivia time. So, gentlemen, 1, 2, skiddly diddly do.
Thank you.
Intern, I can't add you because you didn't add your video.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to do that. Hang on. Hold on. There I am.
This is a tech wonder right here tonight.
I think
and look how clear his video looks. We look like trash, and look at him.
Maybe it's the connection with the camera.
No.
No?
it has to be the building.
It's highly unlikely.
I'm still connected to the Ethernet, so something's happening here at Xfinity Mobile Arena.
Intern.
All right. Let me try to bring some good vibes with this question. Two-part question here.
Oh, video's fixed again.
2-part trivia question.
Okay, fixed itself already. Part 1. You guys remember the last time the Flyers have swept a playoff series?
Yes, 1995 New York Rangers.
What?
4-0, the Eastern Conference semifinals.
I was on that team.
Yeah.
You sure were.
Yeah.
Flyers won games 1 and 2 of that series.
In overtime.
Do you know the 2 overtime
Kevin
goals?
Haller was one of them, and Eric Desjardins, I think, was the other, right?
I don't know about Desjardins. I know Haller for sure.
Desjardins was correct.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Dude,
I
was in college, man, like sitting in bars in Washington, D.C.
That was
watching these
that was the trivia?
Yeah.
hanging on every game back then. Kevin Holler and Eric Desjardins
Yeah, that's
were
right.
the 2 overtime winners. Yeah.
Game 3 of this series, the first game in 8 years in this arena. Intern Andrew showed up with not 1 but 2 trivia questions. It took us a while. I think he even stumped the panel. Game 4, the second game in this building. Intern Andrew having a rough night. All right, now I don't want to say he's having a rough night.
To be fair,
Bundy said it. Summer sick. And
to be
where's
fair,
the backup question?
But listen.
Did you know it?
I'm going to defend him a little bit.
Okay.
Because when you think of goal scorers in overtime and playoffs, normally you don't think of defenseman number 1.
Yeah.
And then secondarily, not many people, unless you're like a real hardcore diehard, are going to remember Kevin Holler. Right, as a guy who could have potentially scored a game-winning goal in overtime. So the question could have been hard for most people. It just so happens that Bundy was on the team, and I was very, very intimately paying attention to those games at the time.
All right,
That's
I have a stat / trivia. We'll fill some time here. Sean Couturier passed Michael Handzus for 5th on the Flyers' all-time playoffs face-offs won with 321. Can you name the only 4 Flyers to have won more face-offs in the playoffs than now Sean Couturier?
Is Giroux one of them?
Claude Giroux is one of them?
Rod Brindamore.
No.
I don't think he was here long enough.
Yeah, I may not have played enough
Bobby
playoff
Clark?
No.
Really?
Correct. He's not one of them. Giroux is one.
Lindros?
Nope.
Wow.
Jeez.
I will give you a clue. It's more recent than that. All of these guys are more recent. Kind of. Actually, one. Yeah.
Mike Richards?
Richards is one. I'll note that three of the 4 were captains of the team. So Giroux, Richards.
It can't be White, can it?
Huh?
Jason White?
No.
Primo?
Keith Primo has the most, 766 faceoffs won.
Wow.
In the playoffs for the Flyers. Giroux was behind him by 44 at 722. Richards had 528. There's one more.
I have no
He's
idea.
in the building tonight. He's in the building pretty much every night.
Briere?
Yep.
Really?
324. So if Couturier can win 3 more faceoffs this postseason, he will tie Danny Briere for 4th most. There you go.
I thought of another trivia.
Oh! Battle of
You
trivia.
know the other 2 teams in Flyers history that they have swept in the playoffs?
In a 7-game series.
Toronto?
That is one.
And
that was in the 70s, right?
75.
Yeah.
Maybe this was a better question.
Well, now I'm going to go back because I know it's got to go back before 95, right? And it's got to go into the 80s at least. And no, they lost that year. 87, there wasn't any sweeps. 86, they got bounced. 85, there wasn't any sweeps. It's really got to go back.
I don't know.
It's got to go back a ways.
1974.
Yeah. Was it the Rangers? Not the Rangers. No, yeah. Was it the Rangers?
No.
Who did they beat before they beat the Islanders? The Islanders went 7, and then was Boston in the final. There was only 3 rounds back then, not 4.
Yeah.
So whoever they played in the first round that year, Atlanta Flames.
That is correct.
But was it a 7-game series?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I guess that was the better question.
Slightly.
Yeah. All right.
Slightly better. Slightly better. But thanks,
That was
Andrew.
good question.
Thank you.
That was better.
Good job, intern.
Yeah.
You pulled the nose up on it. That's what it counts. That's what counts.
Was he like? What was that movie where Denzel was the pilot and the plane was flying upside down for a while? Flight.
Where he's drunk.
Yeah.
Drunk pilot.
I was drunk then. I'm drunk now.
Yeah. So that's how he was flying the plane there, huh? For a little bit.
Intern?
Intern, yeah.
I'd like to imagine that he isn't drunk flying the plane right now. That'd be bad.
Well, we had potato cam for a while.
We did.
Yeah, it cleaned up nicely.
It did.
It did.
This is very clear.
Intern, you stud. Look at you. There's still hope for him. And there's still hope for your Flyers. Let's be real. Halfway through that second period, it kind of felt like the vibes were off. The crowd got really quiet. I don't have beef. I'm not going to blame the fans for tonight. But I will note that in Game 3, Bundy, this place was unbelievably loud the entire time through. And when the Flyers faced a little bit of adversity in Game 3, the fans were just as loud after the adversity as they were at puck drop. Tonight's crowd, definitely not the same level, but when they did get that goal, when Barkey did score, probably the loudest ovation of the night.
The building was absolutely rocking. After he scored, it was as loud as I've heard it again. So that's nice to get that energy at the end of the period, carried into the third period. Flyers need to continue doing what they did the last 10 minutes of that second period. They're a lot more physical. They got pucks in deep. They had made better plays towards the front of the net. They need to continue doing that.
We will see what ends up happening in this period. Obviously, we've not yet seen overtime in this series. We've not yet seen overtime in this building with this team. We've seen it a lot during the regular season, but it very much could be in play. Bundy, I always ask you how important the first 5 minutes are, but realistically, how soon into the period do the Flyers need to score for this to kind of balance back out?
They don't.
As long as they do it in the 20.
As long as they do it in the 20 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get ample opportunities on this period. I really think, as the game goes on against the Penguins, they seem to wear them out more over the course of the game, and I'm expecting that in the third. I'm expecting a huge third period by the Flyers tonight.
Physicality probably going to go to another level here in the third.
I would think so.
Within reason, though. You don't want to get out of your
Well,
game.
I'm not talking about running around hitting guys looking for hits, but being physical with the puck, being physical away from the puck. When it's a loose board battle. So those little things add up over the course of time.
I will tell you that the fact that they didn't hit as much early might be a thing for them to hit more now.
Wow.
Right?
Lull them asleep?
Well, in this sense, Russ, right? They had in all the other games, they had huge first periods with hits.
Yeah.
And they still had a high number, right? But let's say, for example, like last game, they had 28 hits in the first period, and they finished with 44. So that meant they only had 16 over the last two periods, right? So far today, they only have 23 over the first two periods. Maybe they're saving it a little bit for the third period to bring it out a little bit more.
We got puck drop, guys.
All right, we'll be back post-game here on the Press Row Show. Welcome into the Press Row Show, and it's fitting that the Potato Cam has made yet another return tonight. This game was off from the start, Bundy.
It was. It was just jointed tonight for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I said they needed to have a really good start in this building, like swarm the Penguins early. It never happened. Pittsburgh got a lead. Flyers tied it. See you guys. Take care. It was Pittsburgh's night. I don't think the Flyers didn't play a bad game.
Yeah.
It just wasn't their night.
It just it felt like they were behind it the entire night.
I know.
It felt
We'll
like the Press Row Show was kind of behind it all night. It all start. I mean, listen. Simply put, Bundy, the intern has to be here earlier next time. It threw off the entire vibes of the building.
I thought the intern's game tonight was off. He showed up late. There's no setup. We've had a potato cam
a few times.
It's been a rough night for the kid.
I mean, I can only control so much.
You control what you can control. And he did not control what he could control tonight.
No,
I'm not saying it's intern Andrew's fault.
It's just, all I got to say is this. It's a good thing I got here early.
That's true.
And you made that trade of the chairs with Monica.
With Monica, yeah.
The marvelous Monica. I'm not going to blame the concession person over in the press box, but I will note that the cookies were not out during the second intermission or the second period.
Yeah.
They came out late. Do you want a cookie? I got two. Do you want
No,
a chocolate chip?
No,
you sure?
you. Yeah.
These came out too late. These came out in the third period, and at that point, so Bundy, the thing is, one of the things that we knew going into tonight, don't give Pittsburgh the man advantage. We talked about the importance of scoring first in the first period. They allow a power play, not a great penalty that led to it. Pittsburgh scores. They go up. Vladar coming into tonight, there were questions about whether or not the elbow was going to be fine. Ant said pregame he's got 3 different injuries that he's nursing. Not ideal. It just never.
When the vibes are off. Night. It wasn't their night. That was it. It just they didn't play bad. They got outscored tonight.
Yeah,
that was what happened. They just got outscored in some inopportune times. Crosby made an unbelievable play on the third goal at Letang, that shot.
Yep.
He dragged both those defenders to the net as he was going there, and Letang just wound up and drove it home. But that made it 3-1. Konechny getting a goal. He's not been a real big playoff performer.
Yeah.
He really hasn't in his
put
career.
Everything he had into that goal.
That shot. It was a great shot. It was only his second playoff goal, and I think in like 26 games now.
Yeah, it's rough.
So, yeah, that's a little rough, but he ended up getting a big goal and gave the Flyers certainly a fighting chance down the stretch to try to tie it, but it just wasn't to be tonight. Pittsburgh nailed the empty netter. Just under a minute left, and that sealed the game for the Penguins.
I'd say Vladar didn't look like himself. I'd say that, as we noted, and I'm actually going to pull up the final stats here for a second because I'm interested in something that we had noted earlier. Where are we at? All right, there it is. So hits. We talked about after the first period, Pittsburgh was winning the hit battle.
Yep.
It's been something the Flyers have led with early. They've been physical. They've been physically imposing. They've roughed up Pittsburgh early in these games. Didn't happen in the first period. I'd argue that Pittsburgh set a much tougher tone early on, and that kind of carried throughout. And then you can see here, you're out hit by Pittsburgh in this game by 7. Is that the be-all, end-all? No. Is it indicative of how I think the game went? Yeah. I thought they were the more physical team. I think that on 50-50 puck battles, Pittsburgh was a little bit quicker tonight.
Yeah.
A little bit more committed tonight.
Yep. Listen, to come in here in a building like this, rocking like it was, takes a yeoman effort to come in here as a road team and get a win here.
Yeah.
When your back's against it 3-0. I give Pittsburgh a lot of credit tonight. I don't think they were perfect. I don't think that they played a brilliant game, but they got the job done. And you got to tip your hat sometimes to them. I don't think the Flyers, I don't think they played poorly. I just don't think they had that little oomph that they had the other games.
Yep.
And they'll have another opportunity to secure and lock down this series on Monday night in Pittsburgh, where, quite frankly, they've been great on the road all year, and I still believe at 5-on-5 the Flyers are the far superior team than the Penguins in this series.
I'm not hitting the panic button yet.
There's no need to.
No.
I
mean, I said pregame, I thought if they lose tonight, this probably comes back for a Game 6. I'm not totally there yet, but
Pittsburgh's not coming back in this series. They won a game tonight. They're not going to win this series. No way.
I think that anytime you give Crosby and Malkin a little sliver of hope, I think game 5 is going to be a hell of a battle. You better be ready. If you're the Flyers, you better be ready to set the tone early.
Yeah.
I think it's critical that they get ahead early. I mean, so for Pittsburgh, it was a risk to swap goalies. It felt like probably the only desperation play that you could make within reason. You're not going to jostle up all your lineups, right? So it felt like make the change in goal, see if you could ride it. He played well tonight. He had some really big saves early in this game to keep Pittsburgh in it. Just wasn't their night tonight.
No, I think Pittsburgh made a couple subtle changes in this game. They finally made some adjustments that worked. Started chipping the puck softly into the corners where you can retrieve it. The Flyers, I don't say they struggled on it, but Pittsburgh had a little bit better time getting possession of the puck again in the offensive zone. Crosby had a pair of assists a goal and an assist tonight. He was on his game a little bit tonight. He was, he doesn't have a lot of room to operate. It's not like the regular season. There's just not a lot of room out there, and he found a way to come through for his Penguins tonight.
Sweeps are tough to do. I mean, I'm not looking to make an excuse here, but the Flyers did get out to a pretty unexpected 3-0 lead in the series. Carolina finished off Ottawa today, which I think a lot of us expected them to. I don't know if anybody expected a sweep there, but sweeps are tough to do. You give Pittsburgh credit tonight. They were on it. Flyers, I think some of the youth showed. I do kind of wonder how you're feeling about Tyson Forster so far.
He was really battling it, I thought, tonight, struggling with the puck a little bit. Yeah, he's fighting it right now. He's a goal scorer and he wants to score, but he's been really fighting it.
Yeah. For a guy that kind of closed out the season on the sort of high note that he did.
I thought Noah Cates played a good game tonight.
Yeah.
I thought he played well. Mishkov was a non-factor again. Yeah, not complete non. Barkey was good.
Barkey had moments where we were like, man, I don't know. Do you consider making a change going into Game 5 with Bump if it were going to go to a Game 5? But then Barkey scores a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like almost every time that you're kind of like on the ropes with him or he's on the ropes, he comes through. So kudos to him.
He's
hard
a
to make a change.
Tiny little guy that gets into those gray areas pretty good.
Yep.
Because, I mean, he is like, he's as small a guy as you're going to find in pro sports anywhere.
Yeah.
Unless you're a running back somewhere.
A little Darren Sproles kind of.
Something like that.
Darren Sproles.
I mean, he's as small as you're going to find.
Boston Scott. By the way, speaking of the opposite side of that, did you see the guy the Eagles drafted who's never played football before? He's a gigantic human being. He came out of the player pipeline program or something. He's like the size of Myles Garrett. Same combine measurables. It's just a gigantic human. He's never played football.
Really? Never played, and they drafted him anyway?
They're going to turn him into an all-pro. You just watch.
They did with Jordan Mailata, right?
It's going to be I don't know.
Is he an offensive lineman?
I think they said defensive tackle. This guy's Bundy. I'm going to have to show you when we get off the show, but this dude is a genetic freak. It's you see this guy, and it's just he looks like he's crafted out of marble.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see this. Was he a late day pick today? Last day pick?
Yeah, I think he might have been a 7th rounder. Guy is unbelievably big. Anyway, we'll take a look at that after. So, buddy, what do you do if you are the Flyers? You don't burn the tape on this one, but what do they need to do, I guess, ahead of Monday's Game 5?
Have a better start. It's 2 games in a row. Again, Pittsburgh's got the early lead. They were able to come back the other night in Game 3, but they couldn't do it tonight. I think a better start will go a long way helping the Flyers. A little bit more physicality early. Smart, though. I'm not talking running guys. Just being overall a physical, team tough, physical group, hard to play against. I don't think they did that as early as I thought it took them till about halfway through the second period tonight to do that. And that will pay dividends for them. The longer the series goes, I do think it favors the Flyers, and I also feel like that in every game. But I think it's important they have a really good start on Game 5 on Monday night.
They have figured out a way to fight from behind so many times this year. Tonight was not one of those nights. Now everything goes back to Pittsburgh for a Game 5 that the Flyers are very capable of going on the road. They've already done it twice in the series, gone and picked up a win. And if, God forbid, it doesn't go their way, they are back in this barn. I will note, though, again, not to blame the fans in the arena tonight. Game 3's crowd was bonkers from I don't know, 45 minutes before the game, through the final horn into the parking lot. Game 3's crowd. I mean, unbelievably insane.
Yep.
Tonight's crowd had moments, right? The Konechny goal, they got loud. The Barkey goal, they got loud. But, like, there were moments in the third period where I could hear myself think, where it was just like, it was dead silent. And, like,
right.
And I don't know if that's nerves. I don't know if that's worry on the part of the fan base, but, like, it was weird how quiet it got in here in the third.
It did. There was periods. There's some ebbs and flows to the crowd noise tonight. And then again, there was at times it was sporadic, right? Like the goals were scored a long way apart.
Yeah.
They were down, they were down most of the night except when they were tied for a little bit. No, I'm sorry. They were never tied. I'm sorry.
They got back with
They were down 2-0. I was on the elevator going down when they scored that second goal.
Oh, okay.
And saw the replay of it, the Raquel goal.
Yeah, that's a bummer too. That was on the Vladar play behind the net. That almost never happens, and then it's
that's one there. Like you could kind of throw that kind of goal out because you're not going to see that happen again. Yeah. That's a rarity that a goalie makes a fumbles a puck like that and puts it right on the stick of the Pittsburgh player. So. I mean, again, I'm not frustrated. It was just not their night tonight. And I can't say anything else other than that.
Yeah. All right. Well, intern, anything you want to say here? We'll give you the floor.
Somebody put this comment up. Very 2012, like Flyers were up 3-0. Pittsburgh won next 2. Flyers won 6. That's kind of what I'm feeling. I think the Penguins will win again on Monday, and the Flyers will wrap this up at home in Game 6.
If we get back here for Game 6, will you be here earlier than you were today?
Sure.
Okay.
And if not, Game 1 against Carolina, will you be bright and early?
If we get there.
It'll be Game 3.
Oh, sorry, Game 3. Yeah, you're right. You're right, dog. No, I want him to go down to Game 1. Send him down.
He's a Carolina fan, isn't he?
With all the equipment. He is.
He is. He's a Hurricanes fan.
Oh, my God. Yo, what happens? What happens if they go head-to-head? Who does he root for?
He'll root for Carolina quietly.
You son of a...
I'll root for the Flyers.
No, you won't.
I'll pick the Hurricanes to win, but I'll root for the Flyers.
Liar.
No,
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
I have some text to send to my friends back there. But
by the way, I have good news. I have news that we can take into the night and feel good about because it's 11:11. Or I'm gonna get home after midnight. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'll be home after midnight. Yeah.
I have good news. Anthony SanFilippo will reemerge from the bowels of this arena with a smile on his face. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because the Phillies
won.
They scored 4 runs in the 10th inning, and they won 8-5. So
the Flyers have been dragging them for the last 2 weeks too.
They have been.
They have been carrying. There's no one's really talking about them because the Flyers have been doing so well. So
Sixers are back tomorrow.
Anything else happen? Of any other big events happen in the world tonight?
I haven't heard.
Okay. All right. You never know because you miss stuff when you're watching a massive playoff game.
That was funny.
I'm trying to think of what to say not to get canceled or in trouble. So I just won't say anything.
Just leave it at that.
Yep.
If anybody wants to answer for us, they can. I feel like I'm missing something. Watching that Letang goal there on the replay right in front of us. Man, that play by Crosby was so good.
Man.
It really was. I know you want to hate him as much as you can. He kicks a puck back to Letang.
Yep.
And then he goes right to the net and drags a defenseman, allows Letang the chance to tee that shot up.
I'll tell you what, that was one of many shots fired tonight by the Penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us. We are mere correspondents from this house that's sometimes white, I believe, right? Outside. It's grayish white.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that everybody has a lovely rest of your night. Don't forget, it's just one game. All right? I see people melting down in the comments. Let's go full meltdown mode until it's warranted. This goes to Game 7. Like, by all means, meltdown. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. I'm promise you everything will be all right. It's going to be fine. The Flyers are going to take care of this series either next game, and I do believe it'll be next game, and if not, well, they'll come home with another wild building and an opportunity in Game 6 to close it. I don't see the way they're playing, the way they're structurally sound. I just don't see Pittsburgh coming back in this series all the way.
Just stay off just don't give Pittsburgh power plays.
That's exactly right. You got to keep them off the power play. Yeah,
correct. And then everything should work out the way you want it to.
Yep.
All right, so for Bundy, for intern Andrew on the ones and twos, for Anthony in the bowels of the arena, this has been the Press Row Show, the #1 rated pregame, intermission, postgame show, the side of the Mississippi, south of the Arctic Circle, north of the equator, and west of Latvia. We will be back on I guess Wednesday. I guess we're probably doing Snow the Goalie radio on Wednesday.
Why is everyone mentioning Hitchcock?
I don't know where.
Oh, they want to know what Hitch would say after this game.
He would just say, "Keep your head up, boys. We'll get them on Monday."
It's a good way to end.
That's it.
All right. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to each and every one of you very soon here on Snow the Goalie and the Press Row Show.